Welcome to Buy or Buy, where we break down the machines that move us. Today, we're digging into an absolute legend, the Toyota 4Runner. I mean, we're calling it the unkillable SUV for a reason. This thing just refuses to die.
You see that on the screen, the Range Rover's worst nightmare, and it's not an exaggeration. Today, we're looking at a vehicle that has this almost cult-like following, and it's been going on for over a decade now. We're talking about the 5th-generation Toyota 4Runner. Think of it as the Land Cruiser's scrappy younger brother, just as tough, but way more affordable.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to talk about why it's a legend, what's under the hood, the headaches you got to look out for. Let's call it a financial anomaly, and then, of course, the final verdict. Let's get into it.
So first up, the unchanging legend. Let's really get into why this truck is such an icon. Okay, so get this. For 14 years, while pretty much every other SUV on the market was getting softer, more complicated, more like a car, Toyota just didn't change the 4Runner. And you got to ask, why? Well, the answer is simple. They didn't have to. It just worked. It's one of the last true body-on-frame SUVs you can get, kind of like a living dinosaur, but I mean that in the absolute best way possible. And here's where it gets really interesting, especially when you compare it to its big brother, the Land Cruiser. The way I see it, the 4Runner gives you like 85% of that legendary Land Cruiser experience, but for maybe 60% of the price. For most of us, that math is a no-brainer. It's the smarter buy. You're getting the same unbreakable Toyota DNA, the same go-absolutely-anywhere capability, just wrapped in a slightly more manageable package.
All right, let's talk about what makes this thing tick. Let's look at its indestructible heart, the 1GR FE V6. Seriously, look at that number. The soul of the 4Runner is this 4-liter V6, the 1GR FE. It's an engine that is so durable that hitting 300,000 miles, well, it's not some crazy achievement. It's just normal. It's what's expected. We're talking about people hitting 400,000 miles with little more than just basic routine care. It's incredible.
So yeah, let's be real here. You're not winning any drag races. 270 horsepower in a truck that weighs nearly 4,800 pounds? Not happening. But that's not the point, right? The point is, this engine is going to outlast almost everything else on the road. All it asks for is regular oil changes and basic fluid services. It really is the tortoise in a world full of hares, and you and I both know who wins that race in the long run.
Okay, but nothing's perfect, right? Every hero has a flaw. So let's get real and talk about the problems you absolutely have to look for.
So, the big question, what can actually go wrong? Look, we got to be honest here, so we're going to hit the negatives head on. And yeah, there are some. We're talking about frame rust, some leaky suspension stuff, an infotainment screen that seriously looks like it's from 2005, and the fuel economy? Let's just say this thing is thirsty.
Pay attention to this one, because it is absolutely critical. The 4Runner's #1 enemy, its Achilles heel, is frame rust. If you're looking at a truck from a northern climate where they use road salt, this can be a total deal breaker. It's pretty much the only thing that can actually kill one of these otherwise invincible trucks.
So here's the bottom line. Before a single dollar leaves your wallet, you have to get that truck on a lift. You need to inspect that frame like your life depends on it. I'm serious. Take a screwdriver and poke around. Look for soft spots, check inside the frame rails. If the truck has spent its life in the salt belt, this is absolutely non-negotiable. And listen to me, do not be afraid to walk away from a rusty one. There are others out there.
Okay, so aside from the big one, rust, here are the other things you might run into. But here's the good news. All of these are super well known, they're well documented, there are fixes, and you can actually budget for them. Lower ball joints, that's just a normal wear and tear item on a truck like this. The kdss system can leak, yeah, but it's fixable. The air injection pump, that's an emissions thing. It's not going to leave you stranded. Now, the flip side of that bulletproof, old-school engine and transmission is that terrible fuel economy. Yeah, you're going to be getting maybe 17 to 19 miles per gallon. Ouch.
All right, so after hearing about rust and bad gas mileage, you're probably asking yourself, why on earth do people still line up to buy these things? Well, that brings us to the financial part of the story.
So, yeah, with all these issues, why is it a cult classic? The answer is, it's not just about how tough it is. It's about how this truck seems to completely ignore the laws of financial physics. I'm serious, the 4Runner holds its value like almost nothing else out there, except for, you guessed it, the Land Cruiser.
And this chart just says it all. This right here is the 4Runner's superpower. Think about it. A 2015 model with 80,000 miles on it can still sell for over 30 grand today.
It gets to a point where it just stops losing value. Now put that next to a Range Rover, which basically drops in value like it's been pushed off a cliff. It's wild. One is practically an investment, the other is just a massive expense. This totally flips the script on what it means to own a car. You can legit drive a 4Runner for 5 years, have a ton of fun with it, and then sell it for pretty close to what you paid. It turns a car from just a money pit into something more like an asset. And when something does go wrong, you're looking at maybe a $700 bill for ball joints, not a $6,000 bill for air suspension. So yeah, maybe the Range Rover gets you more looks at the valet, but the 4Runner, that's the one that's going to get you home, every single time.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. Time for the final word, our verdict.
This quote right here, this is everything you need to know. The 4Runner is not a luxury car. It's a lifestyle car. It's for people who actually use their vehicle, you know? It's the key that unlocks adventures. Getting you up that mountain trail to the ski slopes after a blizzard, it's a tool that's meant to be used, maybe even a little abused, and trusted to work, year in and year out.
So if you're ready to buy one, here's your playbook. Follow this and you're going to end up with a truck that will probably outlive you. First, really try to find a TRD Off-Road or TRD Pro. They've got the goodies like the locking rear diff that you really want. Second, you might want to skip the limited trim. I know it's tempting, but it has this complex X-Res suspension that can be a real headache. Next, and I can't say this enough, critical frame check. Get under there and look for rust. Then, just budget for the basics, like new ball joints around 100K miles. And finally, just drive it and enjoy it. You're buying one of the most dependable, value-retaining vehicles on the entire planet.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Is the Toyota 4Runner the smartest used USUV you can actually buy today? I mean, when you step back and look at the whole picture, the legendary reliability, the fact that all its problems are known and manageable, and that just mind-blowing value retention, the answer starts to get really, really clear. It's that rare vehicle you can buy with both your head and your heart.
So yeah, our verdict is a huge, emphatic buy. It's more than just a smart purchase. It's like an investment in freedom, in reliability, in adventure itself. This thing isn't just a car. It's the key that unlocks the outdoors. It's for people who don't want to just drive through the world. They want to get out and explore it.